I'm going to call it Tibet from now on. And this is the border town with Nepal. It's called Jangmu, and it's on an incredibly steep hill. You feel like the whole thing's just going to slide away, and it's pretty scary staying in those places in a way, but it's also pretty cool. The worst part of the trip for me is this road. I absolutely hate this road. It's horrible. Horrible. It's a dirt road. They just honk when they go around those corners. It's a lane and a half wide, basically, and has no mercy, obviously, if you go off that. You were in trip over. So this was further up the road. An avalanche had come down in late winter, and they had just dug a sort of trench through there. And that's a truck pretty much wedged in there, waiting for it to go through, thinking, maybe we'll just have to go back. Yeah, safety regulations are really not very strict there. So, yeah, amazingly enough, it didn't have too much trouble. That was our turn. Okay. That was easy for us to get through. So then you can see the Himalayas in the distance. Now we're up on the plateau of Tibet. And luckily it flattens right out. The roads become really relaxing. You can enjoy that great view. And Nepal would be on the other side of those white. That's how the guys wear their hair. This guy was bringing some meat into his restaurant for us to have. I don't know what it was. And this is a town you stay in for a couple of nights because you're going so high so quickly in a car. You have to actually spend multiple days in each town to acclimatize, or you will get altitude sickness. This town is really rough. I found it very rough. And for those who know me, I hate dogs. Scare dogs. That was during the day. At night, the dogs got a lot worse. So I just stayed in. And that's a typical Tibetan sort of, that's actually a restaurant. So it's rustic. And that's an old, but it's beautiful too. That's an old, they have these compounds where they sort of live in sort of shared spaces for a few houses. This is, a view of the landscape from one of the places we stayed along the way. It was just spectacular. And the people are very, very interesting to look at. We spent about almost 10 days at Camp 1 over the trip, and probably a couple of weeks down here. And then you make this long trudge up to Camp 2. And then once you're at this point on the mountain, you feel like you're really, really up high. Even here you do. But you don't spend a lot of time on this part of the mountain. And we made 2 trips to Camp 3 and 1 summit attempt. So this is a picture I took of some guys, you can just see them there, going up to Camp 1, which is up here. Yeah, this is climbing up one. We had to go up to this camp 5 times, so this is just on one of the trips up there. You're taking equipment up and leaving it there and then going down to get more, etc. That's my friend Dan Mazur, the leader of the trip. It was a cold afternoon, as you can see. And right below Camp 1, there's one sort of big crevasse, and there's a group who put a ladder over it, which made it a lot easier, so that was good. And the first time up there, you are really, really tired to Camp 1, just wrecked. And the problem is you're at 7,000 meters now, 23,000 feet, and it's hard to sleep because when your breathing slows down when you go to sleep, you're not getting enough oxygen and you just wake up. So you're battling insomnia pretty much the whole trip, even at advanced base camp. You don't sleep. This is Camp 1. This is our section of Camp 1. We had about 10 tents up there. Maybe 8 tents, I can't remember, but we took over a fair bit of it, actually. There was a Discovery Channel group there filming. I don't know if that will ever be released or not, because they filmed David Sharp, who I don't know if you've heard of, but we'll get to that in a bit. There is the rest of the mountain from Camp 1. The route goes along this slope. You can actually, I can't see from here, but you can pick out a guy along there. You can just see the thin track of all the people that have gone up there. And Camp 2 is in here, and then the route continues up into here where Camp 3 is, and then you gain the ridge, and you were supposed to do that. In Camp 1, there's 3 of our guys. There's Dorji from Tibet on the left, Dan Mazur, our team leader, in the middle, and Dawa Sherpa on the right. And Dawa actually is from a village below Lukla in Nepal, and he traversed the mountain by himself this year. He was a personal Sherpa for one of our team members, and after he was finished with him, he actually went from advanced base camp in Tibet to the summit, down into Nepal to Everest Base Camp in Nepal in 20 hours. Yeah, so that's pretty embarrassing, humbling. You feel like that guy is incredible. And often you're looking up at the summit during the early days of the trip, and you're going, how is this ever going to happen? You can't go up there, and that cloud is just huge coming off of there. Anyway, early part of the trip, we went up as high as we could above Camp 1, and as soon as we felt like that was enough, we just turned around and came back down. So this is just an acclimatization period. And this is a picture I took looking down from the trip above Camp 1. That's Camp 1. You can see all the tents down there, tons of tents. There's a lot of people there. And we had come up from the right-hand side of that. And this is another shot of the same camp. The camp's down here now. And you can see that's the landscape we're climbing it. It's really, when you start to get up there, you feel like this is why I came on the trip. This is a picture of Everest taken from Choyu, a mountain nearby, and I just have this in here so you can see